What's that, Skip? Seano's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everybody, it's Seano again and we're back with some more Supercoach content. Today we've got our round 11 trade talk video. We'll go through for the community the best downgrade targets and the best upgrade targets for this week in Afl Supercoach. Okay, as we can see, we had a pretty good week ourselves this week. Went up 1,700 places to get to 2,360, so we're pretty happy with that. I know it's a trade video, but we thought we'd show that again because we're pretty happy. And our boys, the Eagles, had their first win of the season, which we honestly didn't really think they were going to win a game. So did it for Adam Selwood. All the best to Adam Selwood and the Selwood family. Very sad to hear that news, but the boys decided to do it for Selwood and got themselves a win. It was very nice. It was a good game and I enjoyed watching it. And yeah, nice to get a win on the board and nice to have a good Supercoach round. So we're talking about our trades this week though in this video. So let's get on with that. Stop bragging about my round score and get to the trades. So we'll go through the potential downgrade options for the community. So this is not just for my team, this is for the community as well. So if you're watching this video now, yeah, please give me a thumbs up, give me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button, and I will really appreciate that. And I really enjoy doing these videos, so yeah, hopefully you enjoy them too. Alright, so for downgrade options, let's so we don't really want anyone more than say 300k, because we know there's one at about 260 people will be thinking about. So here we go. Cash cows. So I think the number one pick this week is Cooper Simpson. We went early on him ourselves last week. He seems to have reasonable job security. I don't know if there's any. I asked my Freo friends and they said he deserved another week last week, and he did, and he got a reasonable score. He managed to score he's got a break-even negative 53. He scored a 71, which means if he comes out and plays this week, obviously keep an eye on those team sheets. 53, 71, even if he gets a 47, he's going to go up 44k. Now, he is a forward here in Supercoach, but he is playing in the defense. We love it when they do this, playing in the defense down there at Freo. So he's got more chance of getting a kick. He's not like a small forward like a Kako type that's, you know, waiting to get goals and get possessions. He's roaming around there in the back line. He's got, you know, he's got his friends around there, Luke Ryan and that, giving him the ball. So, you know, I think he's a valid option. Now, people might be looking, he's at bargain basement price too at 119,900. So if he's named this week, he is my number one. The number one Seano pick to downgrade this week. As I said, I went early on him last week, so we won't be going there because we can't have two of him. With how rookies are this week, how in general, I'd probably take two of him. But nope, at the moment, that's my number one, really, I think, almost must-have rookie if he's named. Now, Jed Buse, he's had a couple of reasonable games. He's at that elevated price of 172k 200. Now, me personally, I'm not sure of this, but I hear the Geelong supporters saying that his team, he's not got great job security in that team. When a few players come back, maybe when like a Tom Stewart comes back, that maybe he gets dropped. So I don't really want to be buying someone who might get dropped, especially that elevated price point. So even if he cruises along here, they say if he got enough games, he'd go up 116k by the end of the year. But I just worry whether he'll get that amount of games. So if you're getting him, definitely keep an eye on the team sheets. And yeah, keep an eye out for who's coming back on the on the injury list. When the injuries come out, injury list is updated on Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning. keep an eye out, see if anybody's saving a Tom Stewart or any more defenders are coming back. Cooper Simpson, yep, here's the one. Now, here I can understand why people would be going here. We've got the ruck down there, solo ruck playing at Port Adelaide, Dante's Peak. So I guess the advantages are, is he the number one ruck over Sweet now, or is Sweet just getting a rest? If you knew he was going to be the number one ruck for 4, 5, 6 more weeks, I could totally understand going there. It'd be like a Flynn manoeuvre, especially if you still got TDK and you feel that TDK is not going to come back, or you want to use him to get money. I wouldn't really advise it running him at R2. I think that could be an issue for you. But if you've got a flex position and you're looking to make some money and you think he can play, then I totally understand it. The problem I have with this pick is that, one, we don't know if Sweet's going to come back or not. We don't know what the situation is there. And number two, if he plays this week, great. But then the week after he has a bye. So to make reasonable money out of him, you're probably going to want him to play for at least 4 weeks or so. And there's just no guarantee. He could play this week and then have the bye, and they could have just been resting Sweet, and then Sweet could come and play, and that you just get that one price rise out of him. And at that elevated 248k for him, I'd want to know that, he's going to be scoring for a few weeks. Now, he can get you a big score, though. He could make us a lot of money if he stays in the team. He got a 98 and an 84. So, potentially, he could, if he sticks around that 80 mark, be up around 400k in about 5 or 6 weeks. But whether he continues to get that game. Boxall, we were thinking about Boxall last week, but the thing that really worried us actually happened. We were keeping an eye on the timesheets, on the team sheets, and we were waiting to see what happened. When they were released, even though the Sunday had the extended benches for Sunday, Boxall was on the extended bench, but Mason Wood came into the team, and he was named on the field directly in the midfield. And the first thing I thought is, well, that's Boxall's position. He plays midfield. That's what he does. And they brought someone in, and they've chucked him directly on the field. So obviously they're not going to be the sub or dropped. And also that last week he only played 49% time on ground. So that worried me, and that made me go with Simpson early over Boxall. And yes, as we saw, if you went Boxall and it was unfortunately locked into your team, you couldn't get him out, I feel very sorry for you. But yeah, he was made an emergency and didn't play. So unfortunately, I liked him and couldn't get on him. So I saved myself a non-playing rookie in the team. Hopefully he'll come back and play a game if you've got him in. I know a lot of people have got him in. Camporelli, we don't know if he's coming back or when he's coming back. There's one here, another one. There's 2 more that I want to talk about. One is Angus Sheldrick. Now, his job security as wise of being a sub is very dubious. He's been the sub quite a few games. He came out and had a good game. If he was to play a full game every match, you'd love it. Like, he got an 81, 57, 16, 58. So, if you thought he was going to continue to play, you could jump on him. But at that 191 cash price, and with that, just the chance that he might be the sub, and you've got other players coming back like Mills, I don't think he's got great job security. I think you could end up with another non-playing rookie on your field, especially an expensive one. So he again is an option, but I don't love it. Sard, the fact that he was subbed out at half-time even after a good score, I don't think you can go there. But as we had a whinge about in our trade video, wish the coach would make up his mind and give him a fair. If we knew he was going to play a full game, he would be evenly my most popular pick besides Simpson. They'd be my top 2. But just with the fact he's a sub, and he was subbed at half time, they didn't even give him a go to like 3/4 or whatever. It's like a tactical sub they brought on for Shield. So maybe next week Shield starts on the field and Sard is the sub. I'm not too sure, but very scary. Henry Huswaite is giving us a big 0 on the bench at the moment, which is unfortunate. I don't think there's too many others. Liam O'Connell, did he actually score this week? What score did he get? I mean, he got 56. It's very reasonable. He just seems to be slow burning it here. If you desperately needed someone at this kind of price, his job security seems reasonably good. I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, but considering he's played the last 3 games in a row, maybe it's a bit more secure than some of the others like Jed Buse, but then they just did get beat by the Eagles, so maybe he gets dropped as well. We're not too sure. If you're going to go there, again, definitely keep an eye on the team sheets. I can't really think of anybody else, crew. Oh, there's one more. Here we go. And he's far down in the rookies. This is the rookie that I might be, just because I've already got Cooper Simpson, I'd be going Cooper Simpson. But if you were going to go Archday Wicks, well, he hasn't exactly got a high scoring threshold. That's 33. I believe he scored a goal to get this 33. These are both full games. These are not sub-affected. So you're not going to get a very high score. But he is bargain basement and he is DPP available. So I don't have great hopes for his job security. But he is cheap, and if he allows you to get to somebody else, which is what I might be thinking about doing this week, I can kind of understand. You just need to plan that he could be a non-playing rookie on your bench if you go there. So they're probably the downgrades for the week. Let me know in the comments if I missed anyone. I think that's everybody. Like I say, number 1 is Cooper Simpson from Freo, and then all the others I think are risky. They're all risky, and I don't like any of them. So, I don't think. I think if the fact I have Cooper Simpson already means that I'm considering not trading. But we'll get to my trades in a little bit. All right, let's have a look at potential upgrade options. So, do we want to say anyone over 450? And we're not going to be getting any of the big boys. Even though, let's leave it for the moment. And we'll go to round summary. All right. So we don't need... as for rucks, if you were still holding TDK, that's fine. If you decided you wanted to offload him or you heard some injury report comes out says he's going to be out longer than what you think, there are a few ruck options. Like... who did I see? Jared Witts at 470, I think, is a very good value ruck option. He's probably might not be your keeper. I mean, we all want the Tristan Sherry and Max Gawn combo, which I traded to get in this week, which I'm very happy with. Guaranteed, vice captain options, but now they're probably too much. If you waited on either of them at 700k, they're probably too much. So if you need a ruck to get you by, well, I mean, I would have preferred if you had got Ryan Marshall at 450 when he was at 450. But as you can see, it's only, you could actually, if you're holding TD gain, you go down to Marshall, that's 10k. Marshall will have up and down games, so be very aware this is not going to be the average score. He could quite easily get us a 75 next week. Nank's cheap, but I reckon this Jared Witts, is he not having the best season, is he? That price is very cheap. And, I mean, look at him. He's capable of big scores. 140, 109, 100, 73, 130, 125, 54, 77, 112. So, if you're looking for a ruckman who can punch out a big score and is pretty reliable, I would say that's a pretty good avenue to look. I mean, if we knew Sean Darcy was going to be out for the rest of the season, we would all buy Luke Jackson for our forward line. As a solo ruck, he is just an absolute beast and drops those huge scores. So there's no timeline on Darcy, which makes me afraid to bring him back. Pitney got an 88 this week. Does that worry TDK owners? It probably should be something to think about. He seemed to do okay in the ruck. So if you're looking for a ruck, there's probably your places to go, I would say. I mean, all of these values at 570 are all about it. Cameron, English, But if you're looking for value this week in the way of the ruck and someone who could make some money, I'd be thinking about Wits for sure. All right, let's get rid of the ruck. So out of everybody, let's bring the mid forward. Okay, so Brayshaw should probably have a pretty high break even. Not too bad. If I was looking for an upgrade option, so obviously the two big boys are going to come down. Bontempelli and Zach Butters. Bont's got 157 break even, which we know as Bonty can get, but this is the one I like. 200. Zach Butters has a break even of 200. That means after his bye, it could be very juicy. So he's got one more game. He's not a trade-in option this week, but in a couple of weeks after his bye, let's have a look. They're predicting if he gets 124 next week, possible. Then after his bye, he comes back, he'll be under 600k. And even if he got another 180, he'd be 570. I think if we can get Butters for under 600k, we're going to be pretty happy. So there's our targets for after the bye. And the Bont, he could get down around 600 as well. So I think if you can get those boys around 600, that's probably the cheapest you're going to get them. Anything lower than that is an absolute bargain. So for this week, all right, who are we looking at here? Lockie Neal came back with 116. He's at 570. I'm a bit worried about the tag with Lockie Neal, so I'll be staying away from him. But he is a proven gun, so I can totally understand you can go there. And if he gets back to his potential, 570 is a good price. We've got Dale. I think you could jump on Dale now, but I would have preferred if you had done it before he went up 44k last week when he was under 500. I think now, unless you need to buy him thinking he's going to be a keeper through to the end of the season and a top 6 mid. I think with his run, he could be a top 6 mid. I'm hoping he's going to continue these good scores, but I don't know if I'd buy back into him if I had the option. Dacos, if you like Dacos, he's super cheap now. He's got a break-even 162. You might be able to pick up Nick Dacos for 530k next week or 520k. Wouldn't that be a bargain? So again, that's another one. I'm saying not this week, but potentially next week you could jump on Dacos. Dawson seems to be back again. He's a bit up and down. One week he scores 150 and next week he scores 75. So he's got 113, 76, 156, 78, 132. So it is the definition of a roller coaster ride, but he can put those big scores. And I still think at 546k, he's still reasonable. Lockie Ash still doing well. Chad Warner, I probably wouldn't go there now. Noah Anderson got this 150 this week. He shows us again that he has a high ceiling. And at 544k, I think only owned by 8%. If you want a bit of a pod in your midfield and you need a midfielder this week, I think he is a good pick. Petrarca is probably, the price has gone up and up. Josh Dunkley still very reasonable at 550k. Tom Green still very reasonable at 550k. We do have a lot of these like fallen primos. 550k is probably right about where they're priced at. 550 to 600 is probably, where a lot of these guys like Dunkley's going to sit for the rest of the season. So they're not at their peak, but they're certainly not at bargain basement prices. Nick Martin, if you're thinking about going there, you need a mid defender. That DPP is very valuable and be very useful. He is capable of getting big scores, but it kind of can be a bit up and down as he plays a bit of a wing role sometimes. Blickar's playing full-time in the ruck. He is smashing out some big scores. There's no guarantee he's going to stay there, though. Matt Kennedy in 87, if you liked him early on. Maybe we haven't really talked much about you poor friends out there who had Jason Horne-Francis. Now, as we know, in Seano's team, we traded him out early on the season, and we've been regretting it ever since. He's been making his pay, and at last we've got... at last something's gone our way. We don't want to say we're happy that anyone's been injured. Obviously, we really hope that he is not bad and he's back on the field soon for both super coaches and for himself. But for me, the one player that I traded out, other people may have to trade out now. Depending, I mean, it says a hamstring. So if you hold him this week, he's not going to play again to round 13 with his round 12 bye at the earliest. So if you're planning to deal with him, not having that bye and then just hold him, I can totally understand. Depending on how many weeks he's going to be out for, I'd say if he's just going to be out for 1 week, that's 2 weeks, that including the bye, and he'll be back in 3, and hopefully that'll get him a little bit more time to heal. So I totally understand if you are holding him. But if you are trading him, you do have some valid options. You could go Kennedy. Let's have a look and see. We'll go and have a look exactly, because a lot of people might be in that situation. Talk Miller, 546. Connor Rose is still at 528. I wouldn't be getting him before his bye. He's got a break even of 89. He's not going to go up too much unless he smashes 150, and even then it's not going to be too bad. He'll still be under 550. Jordan Clark, I think, is a very valid option. I think at 520. He's also cheap. We're pretty sure that Connor Rosie is going to get his DPP, which comes in at the end of next week, I believe. The new DPP positions will come in at the end of round 11, and then we'll really be able to plan who we want in our final team. We're assuming he's going to get it, but if you're looking for a defender, Jordan Clark is the way to go. And we'll say Connor Rosie, if you can live with him in your midfield, but I'd really be waiting to after his bye for you guys. You might as well don't get anyone coming in that round 12 bye at the moment. Get him in around 13. He's not going to go up much more. At worst, he might go up another 20 or 30 grand if he has a big score this week. Amon, reasonable if you want a bit of a pod, only in 2.9% of teams. I won't be going at Sheasel with his new role. Heaney, always a dark horse in your midfield. Same with Patrick Cribbs if you wanted a bit of a point of difference, even though he's in 11% of teams. Caleb Sarong got a nice score, but he wasn't tagged this week. The tag went to Brayshaw, and he's still got a 117. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. He's in 25% of teams. Zach Merritt, he has a break-even of 200. He could be very cheap in a couple of weeks' time. The issue is he's playing a little bit more forward. The last couple of weeks he played a little bit more forward. He got a 76 and a 65. If he went back to that full-time midfield, I mean, wow. Let's actually have a look. What's the CBAs that he's doing? Essendon. Zach Merritt. All right, let's have a look and see actually if I'm telling you guys the truth. So the last couple of weeks, there we go. I was waiting and seeing, trying to see what the scores are. So centre bounce percentages. Well, actually, he went to 81% this week. The week before, he was only there at 48%. So he only got a Supercoach score of 65, but he was in the CBA's 81%. Well, that's a worry. At least it shows the role hasn't changed too bad, besides that 1 week he spent more up forward, which was last week. Like the heat map last week was still mostly in the centre with a little bit up forward. Just didn't seem to touch it very often. But where the heat map this week is, I mean, it's more in the centre and seems to be a lot more forward and all over the place as well. So, even though it says he still attended 81% of CBAs, his heat map seems to think that he played quite a bit more around the place. So, keep an eye on that one. He could be really cheap. You're going to pick up Zach Merritt for $500K. I mean, I don't know how we refuse that, right? If he gets down to 500 or 510 or 520, used to be one of the most consistent players in the game, can smash huge scores. So, I mean, I'm keeping an eye on him too. So he's another one that I'm really keeping an eye on. LDU is only like just over 500k. Is a bargain for someone who can perform like he can. Adam Serra smashed a 142 out of nowhere. Shai Bolton. All right, so here is probably a good choice. Now we've gone through most of who I think are valid options. Say you've got a Jason Horne-Francis. Say you're in this issue and you need it, and you want to get rid of him. You're like, let's get rid of him. So if it was me, and you've obviously got already these big boys. You got Bailey Smith. We talked about probably not going to go Luke Jackson just because you don't know what's happening with Darcy. Otherwise, he'd be an absolute lock. If Darcy was out for the rest of the season, I'd be locking him in before you could say throw away the key. Warner wouldn't be going there now. He's probably gone up in value a little bit. I mean, it's possible you could Warner or Petrarca if you really want them. Fine, you'll make a little bit money down from Jason Horne-Francis. Nick Martin, you'll make some money. He's always an option. Matthew Kennedy is an option. One I think a sneaky option, who I told you about in the trade video last week, and it would have been a good prediction, was Shai Bolton. Don't believe me? Go back and watch my video, and I said I think this guy could be a good pick, and he came out and smashed 150. Wow, wipe out. So, so except for this 5, he's gone the last 5 rounds, 115, 102, 5, 114, and 150. So he can score big. I think he'll be a consistent around 90 to 110. This 150 is a bit of a freak score, but I think he could be really good. And the price is very cheap. Like you could almost make $100,000. I think it's over $100,000 going from Horne-Francis to Shai Bolton and put that money somewhere else. If you aren't looking to hold him, if you're looking to offload him, then maybe he's a valid option. As for the other valid options, Horne-Francis now has a break even of 157, and so maybe he'll be a target for me once he comes back. If he comes back from injury and plays a couple of weeks, 2 more weeks or 1 or 2 more weeks here, maybe I can get him a bit cheaper. But yeah, so he's gone down to $4.99. Sorry, so you're not making any money. You're making less money. I thought he was still about $5.30 or whatever, but no, he's actually dropped almost 30k this week. So not making as much money as I thought, but still, like on a Shai Bolton, you're still making around 70k ish. Like I said, I think all these other guys are valid picks, all the ones that we already have there, the Smiths, the Warners, the Petrarcas, the Nick Martins, and Matthew Kennedy. I think a lot of people had Jason Horne-Francis, so this might be a way that we see the teams start to get a bit different. If you want to go for a bit of a pod, maybe someone like a Matthew Kennedy or a Nick Martin who are only in 6% of teams. Shai Bolton's only in 4% of teams. James Peatling, I probably wouldn't go there, even though he's got a good role now that Couch is out, but that's the whole problem, right? What happens when Couch comes back in? Anyone I get in at the moment, I want to be keeping basically to the end of the season, bar injury. And Shai Bolton, I'm not getting Shai Bolton in to make money. If I'm getting Shai Bolton in, I'm getting him as a fallen primo and a keeper. And I wouldn't be getting him in thinking he's going to make some money and then I'm going to jump up to somebody else. I'd be buying him, locking him in my team if I bought him. So that's how that's for if you got a forward issue. If you got a defensive issue, Lockie Whitfield's still at 580. He's come down, probably not going to get too much cheaper than that. You could easily get 123 next week. Bailey Dale, I think it's too much for a roller coaster ride. If you got him now, you just ride it. Got him and keep him, ride it. Lockie Ash, not bad. John Noble, I don't think I'd be going there. Josh Dacos, he's been delivering decent scores. He let his opponents, his holders team, the teams he's in down a little bit last week. But overall, I think he's been scoring quite well. If you want a bit of a pod with a bit of flexibility, I would think he's it looks like he's between about an 85 and 115 average or 120 average. He's only got that 159 there. So, you'd be pretty happy if you bought him in and he got those scores for you. There's probably better options. I think the Jordan Clark option is probably better. You still got Holmes, I believe, is still valid option. Max Holmes at 500k is still cheap. He's had another down week. He's got a low break even though, so he probably hit that. So if you liked Holmes, now's probably the time to pick him up. I've had my eye on him a little bit, but I'm not going to go there this week. Nick Martin, Rory Laird, 1.2% is a massive pot if you wanted to go there. So I think there's some good bargains out there. I just think there is a lack of rookies myself. So let me know if I've missed anybody, any of the upgrades or downgrades. I think that's about it. Who are you thinking about trading? Leave me a comment. Let me know who you think about your trading. Now I'm going to show you who I have 2 options for my team this week. So that was for the community. We went through and who the best ins and outs are. So we're going to undo. You might see from my team them a quick sneaky who I'm thinking about doing. So I think I've got 2 options this week. Personally, I either do 0 trades or I do 2 trades to get a fallen primo into the team. So the 2 options are, if we go to our break-evens, Marriage has Hewitt, out of the rookies that I'm not real happy with, has the highest break-even at 83. And so everybody else, the rookies are doing rookie things. Kako has a break-even of 73, so there's a good chance that he's going to lose money. Everybody else can potentially hit their break-even. Hewitt at 83 and Kako at 73. Well, I think the chances of Kako hitting 73, he hasn't done it yet this season, so very unlikely. Hewitt could hit 83 or get close to it if he could play 4 quarters and play a good game, but he might not. Now, with the bias coming up and with the fact I already have 1, 2, and if we get Gorn back on the field, he's not a rookie. 1, 2, 3 non-playing rookies. I don't really want to add any more non-playing rookies. So we've already got Cooper Simpson. We went him last week. So we could just not trade this week. Wait to see if there's any better rookies next week. Now, in the back line, we're still... break-even is still, 71 for Trainer. So he could go up. He could go down. He could get right around that. Zach Reed's still making money. So I'm thinking at this time, I've got 2 ways of thinking. One, we can get rid of Hewitt because he's making, about to lose about 8k. I think I'm happier losing him than I am losing like a Trainer in the background. I'm more confident that Trainer's going to come out and get a 50 to a 75 than I am that Hewitt's going to get a 50 to a 75, to be honest. Sounds a bit crazy, but it's just the way that I'm thinking at the moment. I mean, we could go Trainer, but Hewitt's worth more money. So, but with all that in mind, I might actually just not do either of those. I might take the money lost. Just to have playing rookies on the field, which I can field. I don't like to field them, but I can field them. I don't want to be getting rid of any of these guys. Like if I get rid of Hewitt, I must go Cleary or Simpson. If I get rid of Trainer, I'll probably have to move Sinclair back, but then I'll have to have one of these guys on the field, and we don't want that. So what we're thinking is maybe Huswaite. Now, I don't think Huswaite is coming back anytime soon. If he comes back this week, great, we keep him. But he was dropped. I think it will take injuries or, it'll be a little bit till he gets another chance. So I think maybe we just get rid of him. We could always get him back. I mean, I don't like to waste a trade that way. He does have a break-even of -8, but he is a non-scoring rookie, so it doesn't matter what his break-even is. He's not making me any money. So what if we trade him, and I just want to see if I can make the maximum of money. Now, I don't love this trade-in. Archer Day Wicks. So at the 99k, he's played 2 games, couldn't even get a 40, but gives me a little bit of money, gives me 77k, gets a non-playing rookie off the field. I get a playing rookie who, he's got a break even of -11. He's predicted to go up 16k. As long as he plays and he gets his 30 or 40, I mean, in some ways, I'm going to be happy with that. He's going to offer me a DPP swap for the midfield and the forward line, and that's going to add a bit of flexibility through my team through the buys. If he happens to get dropped or give a real stinker, I don't know, is less than 40 a stinker? I think he's been pumping out stinkers already, so I kind of expect one of those. But if he gets dropped, I've replaced a non-playing rookie for another non-playing rookie, and he does have that flexibility that Hustwaite doesn't have. So Henderson is still providing me also with the flexibility a chance to loophole. So that's why we're not thinking about him. And I think we'll just take the cash loss on a few of these guys. If they lose a few K, like we saw, if he loses a few K, he'll get it back. So say he gets a 65, he's going to lose 8K. Sorry, you guys can't see that. If he gets a 65, he's going to lose 8K. If he gets a 69 the week afterwards, he'll go up 9K. So if he garages a 65 the next 2 weeks, he'll stay about even. He'll lose some, then he'll go up. And then if he ever get a 75, which from watching him play looks possible but unlikely, he might even go up a little bit more money. Let's look at the same thing with Trainer, season stats. All right, if he comes out and gets 50, he's going to lose 9K. If he got a 50 from now on, he'd drop about 10K. So to hold through the buys, if he drops 10K, I think without a really good option there, I mean, I would have to go Buse, I would think, to make the money there. And do I really want Buse playing on the ground? Not really. Do I want either of these two guys playing on the ground? Not really. So we've made ourselves 70k. Now, the only reason I would make these 70k is I don't like Wicks as a pick. He doesn't score enough. He's not going to make us enough money. He could easily become another big zero on our bench, but he allows me enough money to get one of these fallen primos that we were talking about. Now, Ashcroft has a break-even of 86, which he could get, but he could not get. And he's made the most money out of everybody, so I don't want him dropping too much money. He has been one of our most reliable, and he does have the DPP to go into the forward line. But I think at the money he's made, we might just be able to get someone worth having. Now, the only person that we can really afford, which we want, players I can afford. If we have a look down this list, I don't want Jake Soligo. Caleb Daniel already have. Matt Rao. So Matt Rao is the one that we're thinking of. 464k is an absolute bargain. It's almost 85,000 less than what he was at the beginning of the season. He's a proven roller coaster ride, but potential big scorer, and that's what we did with our friend down here, Ryan Marshall. We got him at cheap, around the same price, knowing that he could give us some crap scores, but he can also hit the highlights. And I think out of everybody there's nobody else here. I mean, Clayton Oliver, if we went back to old Clayton Oliver, but there's nobody else here which I can afford, which I feel like has potential to be in that, if Rao had a good stretch of games, he could be a top 8 to top 10 midfield. But, so he's got a break even of 72. This is the cheapest we're going to get him. Scores a 137, 136, 74, 126 and 130. Then he goes on a little of a bad run, 69, 53, 80, and then a 124. So I'm basically banking that he's going to regain some of this form, and he seems to did this last season as well. We ran on a bit of a run, then he had a bad group of scores, and he goes on a bit of a run. So it gets a rookie off the field. I'm thinking Ashcroft at best could probably score 100, Levi Ashcroft, and probably at worst is a 75. Matt Rao's probably at worst more like a 50. Matt Rowell's probably at worst is probably a 75, but his potential upside is I think he could get 150. I mean, 130 is probably a reasonable score for him, but yeah, I think he could get 150. So that's the trades that I'm thinking of. What do you guys reckon? You reckon Matt Rowell's a bit crazy? I know a lot of people have been trying to trade out of him, but we kind of play. Last week we didn't play the value game. Last week we did the our trades were 2 rookies down and Sherry into the team. So you know we did pay up for Sherry, even though he went up about 35k. I think it was about 680 we paid for him. So I'm thinking my team looks a lot more dangerous like this. Next week, we will try and not trade unless there's a potential rookie that we really like. When we look on the potential rookies for next week, I didn't see much on the horizons. So we are thinking that this is the way we're going to go. The Rowell in the midfield just gives me that option for one more big score. When it comes to rookies, then, we've only left with Lindsay on field, which seems reasonable in the back line. So we're kind of thinking at the moment that we're not really thinking of having 22 guns at the moment. I mean, we would all like 20... Sorry, we're not thinking of having 23 guns. We want 22 guns in the team. We want 22 primos. And the 23rd spot... the flex, the equivalent of the flex spot, whatever position is on your team, you're going to lose that anyway. So one rookie is fine on your team and you're still, in theory, full primo. Even if you've got one rookie in the team, because with the flex position, one of those scores gets dropped out. So with that in mind, we've got Hewitt still playing on the field, we've got Lindsay still playing on the field, and we've got Reed and Trainer. So four players still, 4 rookies still on the field, looking to get 3 off. So we didn't leave ourselves much money, but we're hoping that we're going to get some rookies in the next week or two. We do have a mid-season draft, which I believe happens after round 13 or during round 13. So hopefully there'll be a few, players there for us to jump on. We're aiming at Butters and Bont. Butters especially, that looks like by about round the one after his bye. So if his bye is 12, so if he plays round 13, he could be as low as 500k. He is going to be hopefully the one we go for. So if there's any money to bank next week, that's fine. If not, we're going to try and not trade. The week after the round 12 bye, again, it'll be the same plan. We're only going to be trading down, and we're going to be trying to getting a little nest egg of about anywhere from, we'd like a minimum of 200k, but 300 would be better. If we could get 300k, that means we can chuck it on top of Trainer for a primo, or Lindsay for a primo, or Hewitt for a primo. So, I mean, these guys, they're approaching 300k, so probably 250 is what you want. And we're going to leave Zach Reed playing there for the moment. We're going to pretend that he's going to be he's like an almost keeper. So if we look at it that way, if we count Zach Reed as a keeper, we really only have 3. Take 1 off for the flex position, 2 people we want to replace. So that would be nice. And if we replace them with Bont and Butters, that would be excellent. Then we can worry about the fringe players like the Roberts and the Marriages and whether we're going to upgrade them in the future, even though I think Reed comes before probably both Marriage and Roberts. Anyway, that's probably all I've got for today in our trade video. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up and the subscribe, and leave a comment down below, even if it's say, hey Seano, I think the Rowell move is crazy. I don't know about you guys. I'd love to hear whether you think it's going to bite me on the backside. We've made a few moves in the last few weeks and they've seemed to pay off. So hopefully this one pays off. And I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. See you then.
Take it away, Skip.